Benjamin Franklin, who probably was the most optimistic man of the 18th century, says, if we can create a government that will last 10 years, we will have done our duty. Everything they'd ever studied about republics, which is what they were creating, was that they all failed. They all became tyrannies. They assumed whatever they did, it would decay very quickly. And yet they decided to do something anyway. Better 10 years than no years at all. They were pessimists about human nature. They all believed that power corrupted everybody. And so they are in this unusual situation. They're there to create a government with more power, and they're terrified of it. And if you read Madison's records of the Constitutional Convention, the almost paranoia about power, you can feel it in the air. We're going to create an executive. Oh no, let's make sure that we restrain him. We're going to create a legislature that is the most powerful branch of government. Well, how can we make sure that it doesn't become tyrannical? Every piece of power they give to a branch of government, they then stop and say, what are the dangers of doing this? And it's fascinating because the irony is they are going to be the men in that government. They have the good grace to be afraid of their own lust for power. They're not going to turn this government over to other people. And if you look at the men who went to the convention, they're the same men who are in the first Congress. They're the same men who are in the first cabinet. I mean, they are the leaders of the country, and they're terribly afraid that they will become tyrannical in some fashion. As they meet in Philadelphia, they're surrounded by this haunting fear of power. And yet they spend 4 months creating a government that is more empowered than the one they're replacing. But in fact, they fought and argued over virtually everything, because what they gave with one hand, they wanted to take back with the other hand. And we talk about the Great Compromise or the Three-Fifths Compromise, but if you read the record of the Constitutional Convention, every day there were compromises. Every day there were, let's do this, no, let's do this, no, let's do it a different way. And the big issues for them were power, how to restrain it. And the second ironic big issue for them was they were taking the power away from their own states, and they represented the states.